On this episode, brought to you by MaxEverMuscle.com, I would say it's the longest episode probably. It's maybe the craziest, and it has an amazing like ending to the story.
Just raw emotion.
Yeah.
Like hanging on every word. You're about to hear.
I was hanging on every word.
Captivating story.
Literally,
sure.
Trayvon.
Yeah, it was really, really good. That's
Yeah.
You might tear up a little bit.
Facts.
This entire podcast, all I could think about, had just like a Netflix documentary running through.
Yeah, I know.
The entire time. This story is unbelievable.
We're not going to say anything else. Let's go to the show. All right. Yo, to Roundtable. I'm your boy, Corey G. That's at Small Arms Danny, at Trey Speed, and the graphic gangster himself, Cole Susak. Special guest, Jason Tomlinson today. What's good, Jason?
How you guys doing?
So, a little feedback, or a little background. It's not feedback. We're about to get some feedback. Little background. Jason and I met each other probably a decade ago at CrossFit,
it's been close
roughly,
to 8 years,
right?
Something like that.
Yeah, and Jason's got a crazy motor, like from a standpoint of like in the gym. Like I suck at all that stuff, so he would just whoop my ass royally when I would go to CrossFit. I mean, bad. But then I would be able to get him sometimes on the strength stuff, which now, I mean, he front squatted 365 today.
Yep.
That's 100 pounds stronger than when I used to train with Jason back in the day. Like it's dramatically different.
Like he says 100 pounds, like 100 pounds is like, dude, 265 at one point was like, that was a stretch.
A stretch for him. Like it was impressive to see
Yeah.
what you did today. So I've seen the
Thanks.
growth as an athlete, which is great.
Yeah.
Competes in CrossFit. So right now you compete in Masters CrossFit, correct?
Yes, 45, 49 age group.
And where do you kind of, where are you kind of in this? Because CrossFit has changed so many times.
Yes.
Like, is it regional level, Jason, at this point? Is it nationwide? Like kind of where do you stand as an athlete?
As a master's athlete, you get to do the open like everyone else in the world.
Sure.
Like you get the
I've done it
open.
once in my life.
So you get the open, do it against everybody, but you do it in your age group against your same age.
Sure.
Like 45 to 49, and that's where we're at. So you compare to all of them. And then after the open, last year, it was just you get to age group online qualifiers, they call them.
Okay.
So you go at your own place with a judge, you get 5 workouts, you do them, and then they narrow it down from there on video review who goes to the games.
Okay.
Well, this year it's been switched. You get that, then you get what they call the quarterfinals, which
Okay.
is your next online, and then you get an online qualifier.
Jeez.
Again. Yeah, it's changed a lot. So,
But you've continued to climb the ranks of where you rank in the, because were you top 30 in the region or something?
36.
Yeah.
36 in the world.
So, I mean, you're 36.
Oh shit!
36 in the world, G. Shut the fuck up.
I got to fix that.
Yeah, that's
it's
amazing.
It's been a long fight. Like,
Yeah.
like at first I was like, I can do this. Like,
Sure.
I'm good, right? And then, I went to running.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, our buddy,
Yeah, Eric.
gets me into running. So I'm like, I'll go
He run like 80 miles.
run a 50, run another 50, and I'm like, I should do 100 just to see. So I tried 100, and I'm like, it's all right. I'm tired of trying to make running a job. So I quit all running and went back to CrossFit, and I'm like, I'm all right. I still got something. I still don't have the strength. So I started into it really good. And at the tail end of an age group is really hard when everybody coming into it is younger.
Sure.
So at the tail end of 44, I was still top 200 in the world.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, let's take it serious. My first year in the 45s, I'm like, let's do this.
Top 36.
Yeah, it's 36th.
That's
After
fucking.
it was open.
I think I knew that, but I didn't know that. Fuck yeah, Jason.
So,
Holy shit!
It's even fucking sweeter. And you're coming to train with us on Fridays at 4 a.m.
And now I come to talk to you about fixing a weakness, which is blatant. I know that.
Sure.
So all of my numbers this year were top 100. A couple of them were top 50, except for one.
Yeah.
And that one thing is a weakness. And I'm like, look, dude.
Come around here. We're going to fucking fix it. That's what we do.
Yeah.
So I come over and I'm like, hey, look, this is weak. What do I do? And you were like, just join. Come on. We're going to get it. So.
No, it's exciting. And the funny thing is all of these accolades, he needs some fucking bodybuilding. That's what's hilarious. because
of all things, right?
Because of it's accessory work. He needs more accessory work for lockout stuff. It's same shit we do for our bench and but all the stuff through these WODs. I mean, I've watched him do fucking 50 toes to bars in a row. You know what I mean? But if he can't lock out something because he ain't done, a million triceps like us. So that's where like our world can complement that world, which is interesting.
Because you're right. Like my toes to bar, and I can do bar muscle ups, and I can do muscle ups, and but I can split jerk 240 for 3, but I can't do 10 strict handstand push-ups.
Yeah. And so it was like a glaring, if we can fix that, it's
And
a
I'm
wrap.
like, there's something wrong. Like, and Carrie said it. Like, she's like, look, Corey's invited. You take advantage of it. Go
Yeah.
do it.
I saw
because-
him at a couple volleyball games. Our kids played against each other. And I was like, Jason, like, man, you got to come through, bro.
So-
Because I know he's half crazy. He gets it, which is what we want.
I understand it completely. I do.
No. So the one thing that I love about our show is relationships that I have or we have to we can give people a voice, right? Jason is on social media. We'll talk about that at the end. He don't really post that often. He should post more. But the reality is our friend Eric Alberry, who you guys went and saw like when he was building that army truck, he's a fucking maniac. I love Alberry. Has the best pork chops of all time.
know,
That's how I
right?
first met him. At CrossFit, I walked up. I was like, dude, your sideburns are awesome. We could absolutely be friends. That's literally how I met him. So anyway, you know, Jason and I became pretty friendly working out together. And he kind of told me about a little bit about Jason's story in the past and didn't give me a lot of details, but said like, Jason's been through a lot. He's overcome a lot. And I don't really know the story all the way. But I said, Jason's now, you know, way past some of these times. And I think it'd be interesting for him to share it. And then we could have some feedback. So I don't know what's all the way coming. I just know that it's interesting. So Jason, I think start off with young guy, kind of how you grew up. Like let's just kind of get into that and we'll figure it out.
So just quick backstory.
Sure,
because
please.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
details.
yeah.
on it. But my mom and dad divorced at 5.
Okay.
We moved back to Ohio. They move on. I end up growing up until, I don't know, 8th grade. I moved all over the place. Like we were everywhere.
Got it.
All over. Well, in the 8th grade, I was in 7th grade. I was in Zanesville, and I ran in and started running the streets. And I'm like, look, my mom's married to some guy that claims to be a preacher. It was really rough. Like beat on my mom, beat on me. My sister was gone a lot to relations' house, so like she didn't get to see a lot of it. And he had a son, year or 2 older than me, had been beat on his whole life. This guy was a drunk, had a church, all kinds of things.
Just a shit show.
all bad,
Yeah.
real bad. You know, and as a kid, you don't like you trust your parents to be,
Well, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like this is the people that are you're supposed to guard you and help you and raise you and make sure this shit don't happen.
Facts.
So at 13, I started running streets. I'm like, fuck this. This ain't happening. And I start hanging out with the people that I thought was cool.
They tell you not to hang out with.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm those guys. I'm that kid.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm like, I'm at the pool hall and like these guys are dealing drugs out the back door. And I'm like, yeah, this is it.
And this is like 8th, 9th grade.
7th.
7th grade.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
7th grade. So I end up being that kid that's hanging out that these guys are OG gangsters are like, you know, go to school. Quit
Yeah.
fucking around. Well, they'd catch me on the street and beat my ass. Like, what the fuck are you doing? I go to school. I'm like, not happening. This
Yeah.
is great. So at 13, going into 14, I learned to cook crack.
No shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's fucking real. And that's the time frame because your age, that's when shit is like crazy in the streets
yeah,
too. That's when
it's-
it's really popping off in the
it's
early
like,
90s.
You got
Yeah.
to think about time frame, right?
Yeah, no,
Like,
that's
it's
exactly where I
like
went.
Early 90s is like
Oh no, that's the
East Coast, West Coast, gangster rap, and like it's all about, you know, dealing drugs and
Sure.
fuck the police.
Yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So,
and crack's the one that's making all the money.
well, yeah, because
Yeah.
it's real easy to make.
Sure.
It's easy to hide. It's easy to, and everybody at that point in time wants it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So, and there was no, and I've been on the inside and seen it, right? Like I've seen what it does and where it goes and this and that. And, you know, and I always hear talk about like, you know, it's the black drug and it's this and that. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's an everybody drug.
It's an everybody.
It
drug.
is. Everybody
Yeah.
did it. So I learned to cook crack. I'm in and out of the house. Like I'm living with friends. I'm living back home and this and that. Well, one night, my stepbrother, which was my mom's husband's son, ends up shooting him and killing him on the couch. He's asleep, walks out, shoots him.
Kills his dad.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, he's done. He's like, that's it. I'm finished. It's all over with. Through a whole line of shit that
Yeah.
went on, my mom ends up in prison
Okay.
over this whole deal. I end up living.
And you're fucking how old, Jason? At this point?
About to go into the 9th grade. About to be a freshman.
Holy shit.
So, I go to live with my aunt and uncle, which isn't very far from here, in a little town called Homer.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
right
Yeah. I
outside
know where
of
Homer's
Utica.
at. Yep.
So I end up at Northridge.
Okay.
My freshman year. I'm away from everybody that
Yeah.
I used to run the streets with. I don't go down to Zanesville anymore. I don't deal with any of that. New kid in school, I get picked on, right? You got to make a statement.
Sure.
So I told my uncle, I said, hey, I said,
And you're not no soft kid at this point. Let's face it. I mean, what
No.
you've seen and endured.
Yeah, and what I've been through, like,
Yeah, come on.
look, I carried a gun.
Got it.
I don't need your shit, right? Mm-hmm. So I tell my uncle, like, look, I don't want to cause any problems for you guys, but this is what's happening. My uncle's like, take care of your business. We'll deal with it.
Okay.
So,
He know what that meant?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, from then on out, like, things become, I beat a kid's ass and things straighten out, and I seem to be okay.
Okay.
Right?
You're holding it together.
Yeah, my aunt and uncle, like, took me in. My uncle owns his own business. I go to work with him. Like, it's not a.
So the what they're showcasing is a better life.
It's like what you always dream of.
Yeah,
It's like
okay.
a family life, right?
Sure.
Like something I never had. Like
Got
my
it.
family's,
Yeah.
dead in prison.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
or the other.
Yeah. Damn.
So because I always said blood, family isn't always blood,
Yeah.
and most of mine aren't.
Got
Like,
it.
Most of my family isn't blood. Like, that's what it is. So through this whole time in high school, well, then my mom gets out of prison. She takes me back. She marries another guy. I end up hanging out with the wrong people again.
So it pulls you back in.
Oh yeah.
Were you back in Zanesville at that time?
No, I was running around Johnstown and Columbus.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I just meet the wrong people. It ends up in a really, really bad spot from here on out. I end up on parole or probation as a juvenile
Okay.
for stealing car stereos. I tell my mom I'm 18. You can't force me to do shit. You ain't never been here my whole life. I'm leaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, 18 out the door. I'm gone. 3 weeks later, I walk into school and and this is like things in your life that you regret,
Okay.
right? You'll always have them. You'll find something that you'll be like, fuck, I wish I'd have changed that.
Yeah.
The one thing, everything that I've ever done has led me to where I'm at.
Yeah.
Leads me to sit here with you guys, leads me to work out in the morning, leads me to my wife, my daughter, everything.
Sure.
It makes me a better person today. But there's things that you could change that wouldn't maybe change that outcome.
Yeah, I got it.
One of them was walking in and telling the director at, which used to be JVS, now it's CTEC.
Sure.
Walked in and told the director I was leaving school with a 4.0 average.
Gotcha. So you were a good student.
Oh yeah, I was the student that never took notes, never.
Yeah.
I just did my homework in class. I sit back and watch the board, and I could pass a test.
Got it.
I never had to work at it. It was always came to me. But I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated everything about it. I had met a guy once that, hey, I got a job. I'm like, what is it? He's like, you back a car in the garage, he said, and you go inside and sit down, come back out, hop in your car, and drive it to another address. Okay. How much
Got
money
it.
are you going to give me? This much. Okay. Fuck yeah. I'll make $3,000 just driving a car.
Got it.
Yeah. I don't ask no questions. I don't know what's in it. Don't care. I don't stop, obey the laws, show up, get my money, and leave.
Got it.
I leave school because of it. I'm not sticking around. I make too much money for this.
How often were you running that?
Once a week.
Got it. So you were like, I'm about to make 3 racks a week.
Yeah.
And I'm not asking questions.
I don't ask
Fuck
nothing.
C-Tech.
Yeah, along with right? I don't need
get it.
I don't need a job.
Yeah.
I don't need your education.
I think that thing right there is probably the biggest, thing that people fall victim to because they're like, I can make $12,000 in a month.
Yep.
I ain't never had nothing.
Look, in Zanesville.
That's not an easy no.
No. 14 years old in Zanesville, I can remember running around $6,000-$7,000 in my shoes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Who does that?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it wasn't nothing to have $6,000-$7,000 on Friday and have nothing on Monday, though.
Got it.
Like, it's gone. Like, what the fuck did we do? I don't remember, but
Yeah,
we did.
yeah.
So, I quit school. I'm out on my own, moving from place to place, all people's houses.
It's a
crashing.
chaotic life.
Yeah, pretty much. But I always seemed to have a little bit of money and a little bit of drugs. Mm-hmm. I was always getting high. It wasn't no big deal. To me, at the point in time, it wasn't a
Yeah,
big
of course.
deal. So I end up meeting some people out of Columbus. We end up doing bigger deals. Like I quit running with the car and stuff, and now we're like, all right, we're going to run for ourselves, and we're going to deal, and we're going to have all these connections, and we're going to do stuff. Like we're going to be big.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tattoo Thug Life on my stomach, and I'm going to be the white Tupac. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm going to do.
yeah.
Fuck this,
Yeah.
right? I'm going to be big. And it's like every time you turn around, there was always something setting you back. Like it could never get to be what I thought at that point in time was big.
Mm-hmm.
I end up running into all kinds of people. I met a guy from Colombia that showed up and gave me a Keokuk one time.
Some Narcos type shit.
Fucking crazy, believe
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I started bodyguarding for, well, it was funny. I met a young lady. Her mom used to be a call girl in Miami.
Okay.
She goes to prison over some drugs, gets out, moves back home to Ohio. And she's like, look, I want to start calling again. And I'm like,
Bodyguard.
okay.
Yeah.
I have a gun. Is that fine? She's like, sure. Just watch and make sure nobody hurts me. Okay.
Wow.
So I have to, like, it's sit through some weird shit.
Yeah, no.
Like, weird shit. I'm just going to tell you now.
Yeah.
Whatever you think you might want to do, you have
Yeah, no one wants that job.
No.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that. So I see that, and then a friend shows up and brings me, hey, let's deal this drugs, and let's do this. And it all come to head one night for my first bit. Like, I've been to prison twice.
Okay.
I've been to prison here, and then I've been to prison in Montana.
Got it.
It all came to head one night. We were out fucking around, just goofing off, and I got out of the car in Johnstown and had a baseball bat in my hand.
Okay. Just casual.
Just casual, right? And this was after my
yeah.
It wasn't no big deal.
But
to
it
me.
doesn't. But yeah, compared to what you've been talking
I
about,
mean,
this is just
it
like
wasn't like
yeah.
I just got out of the car with a baseball bat. Like I was just going to use it. That's
Yeah.
somebody. It
Sure.
doesn't matter. And this was after my first time down here in Ohio. Like
Okay.
I did 10 months already here in Ohio.
Okay. What'd you go down for the first time, Jay?
Burglary.
Okay.
We went into it was her parents' house, but then she was going to get in trouble, so she told on me to
Got
cover
it.
her ass. It's my own fault.
Yeah,
Look,
sure.
I'm going to preface all this with I don't blame nobody.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
So all of you guys understand, like, the one thing I've done through my whole life is I've never blamed anybody else.
Yep.
Nobody.
Fuck with that.
I've never.
You took
it's
ownership
my
of it.
mom's fault, or it's my dad
Yeah.
for leaving, and
You don't feel that way.
never have I ever felt it's anybody's fault.
Good perspective,
It's
Jay.
mine.
Yeah.
I know right from wrong. I was smart enough to know right from wrong.
Sounds like it.
I just kept, like, when things go wrong, well, fuck, I'm already in trouble. Let's just keep going.
Yeah.
It's not like it was never a big deal. Like, I'm always in trouble. I'm just going to keep things going.
Mm-hmm.
So I did already done 10 months. I thought, man, I'm like the biggest, baddest fucker on the streets right now. Like, I just went in and learned bigger and better ways to be a criminal. That's all I did. I got out on the prefaces that I had straightened up. Like,
Yeah. But you knew you wasn't straightened up.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
Not at all. I was not getting out and going a straight path. No way.
And you knew that 100%.
Well,
then
I
you
hadn't
did.
been raised that way,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I hadn't raised myself that way. I hadn't raised myself to get out and follow this. I'm going to get a job.
Yeah, the
I'm gonna-
traditional path.
Yeah, I'm going to get a wife and have a kid and work a 9 to 5.
1.2 dogs, pick a fence.
Never done that.
Yeah.
Never. I didn't even have friends that had
Yeah. I got it.
So I go time. So we're running around, and we've had friends kidnapped, like all kinds of things that happen. And we were in the process of trying to deal with some people. And I got out of the car in Johnstown with a baseball bat in my hand, and I went to throw it in the car because there was a cop pulling up to the light right next to me. When I went to throw it in the car, it hit the seat and hit the ground. And that cop's head turned so fast and looked at me. And I looked at him, and lights came on, and he pulled in.
Yeah.
Well, I was on probation when I got out the first time. Well, I just quit reporting.
Got it.
So now I know
You just flew, basically. Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I have a felony. I have a warrant for that felony. I have a warrant for not reporting. And I'm like, he just pulled in, and I'm like, fuck.
You just
man.
got a pile
I'm
of
in,
shit.
I'm in deep shit.
Yeah.
He pulls in, another cop pulls in. And I'm standing at their car, and he's looking at me. This old cop, I had dealt with him for 4 or 5 years now.
So he knew you.
Oh, yeah. He knew me big time.
Got it.
And the guy standing with him's a rookie I'd never seen before. Like, I knew all the cops in Johnstown.
Yeah.
I knew every one of them. Collins looks at me, and he goes, "What's your name?" I said, "You know my name."
Yeah.
What's your name? And he's trying to impress the rookie. I can see it right away.
Yeah.
I said, Jason. Jason what? I said, you know who I am, Collins. Jason what? Tomlinson. And he goes, that's what I thought. Put your hands in. Before he could finish his sentence, I ran.
Okay.
Gone. I never even heard the rest of the sentence. I never heard a lick of it.
Got it.
I heard put your hands, and I was left.
You're gone.
Yeah. They said, the guy, my buddy standing there said that I was gone so fast before he realized he finished his sentence. On the car, and he said, just stood there and looked where I was standing, and I wasn't standing.
Yeah, you were just out.
I was gone. So I ran. I got out of town. I end up.
So you fled. You just didn't run that second. Like, you got away.
I was gone.
No shit.
Yeah, by the time I turned around and seen where they were running, I was like half a block away.
Got it.
I was gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I weighed 100 and, at this point in time, 125 pounds. I was
Yeah.
strung out on drugs.
Yeah.
And I was
You were
small.
light on your feet.
I was gone.
Yeah.
I go down and sit at a buddy's house. His mom has a scanner. I'm listening to it. I'm like, I know exactly where they're at. Everything. Oh, fuck, they're coming here. I got to go.
Yeah.
Out the back door when they're knocking on the front door.
Shit.
So they're going to all these places they know I have known associates.
Yeah, of course.
I end up getting somebody to pick me up at the edge of town, taking me out of town. Well, I end up on the run. Mm-hmm. And with a friend who has a car that's in her dad's name.
Okay.
Problem.
Yes.
Not thinking about it's a problem at that point in time. Of
course
it's
not.
a problem. Well, her dad wants her back. What's going to happen?
Is she a minor?
Yeah, she's 17.
Oh.
She's my buddy's girlfriend.
Got it. It's just
with me.
compounding all
Oh,
kinds
dude,
of
it's
shit.
all kinds of fucked up.
Yeah,
all I
yeah.
can think about is, and it doesn't matter, none of the rest of the shit matters.
Yeah, you're just
I
getting
need out of this state.
Yeah, of course.
So, over the next month and a half, we proceed to go from Ohio to Florida, back to Ohio. Texas, Louisiana, Florida, back to Detroit, all the way out to Vegas.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. In a month and a half, we put like 36,000 miles on a car.
Holy fuck.
Just staying on the run.
On the run. Robbing people, robbing houses, figuring out how to rob drug dealers.
Yeah.
Like the one thing I learned a long time ago from a guy in Zanesville was the best person to rob is a drug dealer.
They got the cash.
But who they gonna tell?
Yeah, that's true too.
Like when
Yeah.
I got robbed in a back alley once.
Mm-hmm.
Guy tried to sell me plastic lawn furniture
Okay.
for a crack rock. He's like, look, dude, I got this plastic lawn furniture. And I was
Yeah.
like, the fuck am I gonna do with lawn furniture? I don't have no lawn to put it on. The fuck am I gonna do with that?
Yeah.
Fucking lo and behold, like 2 days later, he's out standing out back with a gun on me. He's like, give me all your shit. Here you go.
Yeah,
I don't give a
yeah.
fuck, take it all. What else you want? You want my fucking clothes? I don't
Yeah,
care. Best thing you do is just give your shit up,
Sure.
not die, and then they take your shit anyway.
Yeah, facts, because that's what's going to happen.
So I learned a long time ago, rob drug dealers. They're not gonna tell nobody. Who are they gonna tell?
Yeah.
They're gonna come back after.
But they're
you.
going to come after you. Yeah. And I was going to say, I know there's a catch to this,
There is.
right?
There is a catch. So
Yeah.
you got to be careful who.
Yeah.
Like you don't want the guy that's giving the next guy the stuff.
No.
Normally not him. You want the guy giving this guy the stuff.
And that was your strategy.
It was. Plain and
Fuck.
simple. Plain and simple. Like you got to find that person though.
Sure.
Like I got to find not the
In all these different towns, too.
Exactly. So the one thing I learned a long time ago is this wad of cash that may not be that much, but looks like a wad with some big bills on the outside.
Yeah.
Brings out a lot of people.
Oh, I'm sure.
A lot. Their intention on the other end might be the same as yours.
Yeah.
Like they might have the same intention. They may have, oh, that's a wad of cash. I'm gonna steal that shit. Mm-hmm. He's getting robbed. So you got to watch who you deal with and what you're dealing with. And the thing that I learned way back was you get what you want with duct tape, Vaseline, and a curling iron. Just so you know.
Damn.
I'm just let you.
Yeah.
I'll let you work from that. What
Yeah,
you
yeah,
think
yeah.
could happen, but you do. So we travel from city to city, spend a few days figuring out. Look, I need
Yeah.
some shit. Like, what's going on? Well, you find that person, you stomp a door in, you duct tape them up. Where's your stuff? You leave.
No shit.
By the time you do that, you just leave town. Nobody. I mean,
Really knows, yeah.
So we travel around. We end up in Vegas. Stayed a few days, and I was like, look, I'm just gonna go home. I'm gonna go home, either hide out for a while, and then just be done. I'm tired of running.
I would say at that point, are you just like
Yeah.
worn the fuck out,
Yeah,
bro?
It was just over.
The stressors would have to be
Yeah.
astronomical.
Well, because you're
Jason.
always looking over your shoulder.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't know
It's a means
who's...
to an end.
You stare at me wrong, I
Yeah.
think you're a cop. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
you're
yeah,
after
yeah.
me. Or I've
Sure.
robbed you or your
You're
friend.
paranoid at a level I can't even probably identify.
Pretty
with.
rough.
Yeah.
Pretty rough. We were in a person's house, and it got tight one time, like really tight. Like somebody sitting next to me staring at me got to me, but it didn't get to me like this. Like we were in a person's house one time, and someone shows up. Like we're sitting up in the house, and somebody shows up. Well, the people in the car took off. Me and my buddy are standing in this house. Like, the fuck we gonna do? We having a ride.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of fucking nowhere. What are we doing? Well, next thing I know, the field behind the house is growing marijuana. By chance, dude. Just by chance.
Yeah.
We wander into a marijuana field. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I feel like I'm in the fucking twilight zone.
Yeah.
They come back, pick us up. We end up back on the road. Nobody following us. No nothing. Driving along, I look at the median strip. There's 2 cops sitting there. And I was like, what the fuck? Both of them pull out right behind me. I was like, fuck, here we go. Get your shit ready. We're taking off. I'm done.
Yeah.
We're going to run.
You're going Bonnie and Clyde style.
I'm going out. Like, it's over.
Think about that. And I had a long talk with Maurice about this when we used to like hang out quite a bit. And that you make that decision at that point that you're going down like Blaze of Glory
Yes.
level. Like that's so hard for me to conceptualize. But he spoke about that a lot.
You do. Like, at that point when they pulled out behind me, I'm like, it's over. Like, we're done. I'm not going. I'm not doing it. Let's go. Downshift and hang on. Next thing I know, they pull off the road right behind me and was gone. And I was
What?
like,
So you were trying to run and they just left you alone?
that's it. Gone. I was like, what
That's
the
bizarre.
Yeah, it is.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It keeps going.
yeah.
Oh wait, there's
Something
more.
tells me
Damn.
we're not there yet.
So there's points in time, like, I wonder, did that really happen?
Yeah.
Like, was I just fucked up? Like,
Yeah.
Was
You're
there
like,
something in that field that fucked me
Yeah,
up?
yeah.
That I'm just like, did that really happen? But it's the oddest thing in the world, right?
okay.
So we leave Vegas and we go up through Wyoming, Yellowstone, into Montana.
Really getting to see the U.S. here, Jay.
Yeah. How old are you at this point?
You probably like 20 or something, Jay.
No, I don't even think I was at 20 yet.
Yeah.
Holy shit. All right.
19?
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
I was thinking I was 19 because I turned 20 I turned my 20th birthday was in prison.
Got it.
So yeah, I hadn't even turned 21 yet.
Okay, shit.
Yeah. Jeez.
Holy crap.
So, yeah. So we go up into Montana and we stay the night in Bozeman. Find a casino with a motel, go in, stay the night. I'm like, this is fucking life. Like, I don't like this. I'll travel easy back across the U.S. We leave the next morning and we head out and head to a little town. We just like, look, I don't have no agenda.
Yeah.
So I can pull over whenever I want and just stay.
Yeah, sure.
We pull over in a little town called Big Timber. Little. In Montana, things are so far apart.
Oh, yeah.
It's so big. We stay in this little town called Big Timber. I wake up the next morning to a knock on the door. And the phone is ringing at the same time. And I'm like, the fuck? I stagger over. What's up? And the lady on the phone goes, look, I didn't call you, but I'm going to let you know there's a sheriff outside your door right now. Thank you.
And he's knocking on the door at the same time. Yeah.
And I look out the door, and there's a sheriff standing out there with his gun drawn. Holy shit. All right, gig's up. Go over and knock the screen out the door, grab all my shit that I needed to take, and hop out the window and go get in the car. I'm going to take off. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of things that happened through the night that I didn't know had happened until later on.
Got it. That led to him being at your door.
That led to him being at my door.
Gotcha.
So I hop in the car and I head down the road. Well, I'm not used to, you drive everybody drives 161 here, right?
Yeah,
you drive
yeah.
up 161.
That's not what the roads look like there.
There's an exit every, 5 miles? If that, 2
Yeah,
miles, 3
yeah,
miles
yeah.
in some places. Out there's an exit every 35, 40
Got
miles.
it.
I'm out the fucking highway, dude. Just
You're going to
hauling
run out of
ass.
gas. I can already hear that coming.
Just fucking moving.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm away. This is great. I slow down, start cruising. I'm like, I don't fucking take no action. This exit looks like a dirt road. I don't take it. I'm going to get to a town. Well, next thing I know, there's 2 cops behind me. Lights on. It's on. There we go. Downshift and take off.
What are you driving?
Fucking Sunfire, dude.
There it is.
Sunfire.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
And I will tell
Now
you,
I got a picture.
I will tell you, it stalls out at 120 something.
Okay, there you go.
I'm just saying.
I just felt like that was an important detail.
Yeah, yeah,
Please
yeah.
continue.
Throw
Yeah,
that in
and
the pile.
we're not driving a Camaro.
Yeah,
We're not,
yeah.
You know, we're
The
driving
fucking
a
Pontiac Sunfire. Let's
Yes.
fucking ride.
So
Jesus.
these cops are chasing us, and we're just fucking hauling, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, fucking calls it, and it dies, and I'm like, fuck. Picks back up. I'm like, oh, the governor kicked in. There it is.
Yeah.
It's on and off, on and off. Well, we come up to this like hill, and it drops off, and I look down, and there's cops everywhere, like everywhere.
It's like some shit on a movie.
Yeah, and I was like, what is going on? That was fast, like
Yeah.
everywhere. Well, traffic's kind of stopped, and I didn't know it at the time. This going on at this bridge is actually a fatality accident. That's not for me.
Oh, it wasn't even for you.
No, I drove into it.
Got it.
Fuck. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too. When I seen all the cops, I was like, fuck, I'm in deep shit. Mm-hmm. Well, the cars.
Well,
are
you're definitely in deep shit, but not as deep as you thought, right? Yeah.
No, and not
Yeah.
yet, right?
Yeah.
So we're driving up on this, and I come down to the bottom, and there's a line of traffic that I have to get behind. At that point in time, the fatality was on the other side of the road, and it was a camper that had driven into a bridge,
Got it.
right into the concrete side of the bridge. So traffic both ways was kind of messed up. As I get closer, and these two cops are on me behind me, the cop on the bridge draws his gun on me as I'm driving.
Because you're going to run into all
You
kinds
know,
of
shit's about to happen.
Yeah.
Right. And he draws his gun and points it at the side of the car as I go by. And I'm like, if he shoots, I'm dead. Like, it's over. He didn't shoot. I drove right around the car in front of me, and we took off again. Well, now I've got 5 cars behind me.
Jesus, Jason.
This is some Grand Theft Auto. That's what it
yeah.
sounds-
2 on the frontage road, because out there you have your highways, and then you have what they call frontage roads,
Yeah.
which are kind of like
old
old
161,
161
yep.
is here. But everything's so flat. Well, I'm driving along, and the car's stalling out, picking up, and I look over, and these 2 cop cars on frontage road go driving by me, and they keep on going, and I was like, oh fuck, like
Now they're ahead of you.
now they're ahead of me, and there's 5, 6 behind me now. I find an exit, hop off the exit, drive down into this town, and I'm like, something's got to happen here. Like, there's so many cops, I don't know what the fuck to do. So I'm driving through softball fields, people's yards, everything. I'm like,
This
fuck 'em.
fucking Sunfire is real,
Oh,
dude.
it's fucking home. Like, believe me.
Yeah.
I don't know how it lasted.
Yeah,
I
no
really
shit.
don't. So we end up back on the highway, going the wrong way up an entrance ramp.
Okay.
Like, the clover leaf came around, and we went back up it, got to the top, turned, and went back out on the highway to avoid the cops that were blocking the entrance ramp. Mm-hmm. I get off the next exit, farther up the road, just outside of a big town called Billings. Mm-hmm. And I'm heading down, and I look, and I'm like, fuck, there's construction on this bridge. It's crossing the Yellowstone River, like
Okay.
a major river in the state of Montana. And I'm like, all right, so cross this bridge, right? There's cars stopped on our side, and there's only one lane open on the other side of the road. And I just fucking whipped the car over and went right down that fucking lane. I get to the other end, and the cars have been released to come at me.
Oh, shit.
Thankfully, it wasn't like halfway across the bridge. I was approaching the other side, so by the time they seen me, they stopped, and I could squeeze by.
Okay.
But that lady's face when I was driving at her.
Oh, I'm
was-
sure.
Like, you could see the eyes, how big her eyes and mouth were staring at me in her windshield as I went by. Looking at her, and I went like this, and she was like,
Yeah, I'm sure.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I made it. We're out. Get down the road. They pull stop sticks on me. I go around them. I just slide off the side of the road and went around stop sticks.
Jeez.
I go around them again, one more time.
Yeah.
End up making a turn. Like, I got over in the other lane and was heading straight for a semi because I seen a road up there I could turn on.
Got it.
And I'm like, I'm going to fucking throw everyone off. Watch this. Just hop over in the other lane, head right for the semi, and I mean, like, right at the last minute, I just fucking turn. Go down that side road right in front of the semi. I thought, fuck yeah, I'm going to lose everybody. Who the fuck are you losing? Seriously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, They just stopped and truck went by and they turned and they're still there. Like,
Yeah. Well, yeah, when you look back, you're like,
Right?
I'm really not good. So when I see this, so
playing
hold on for a
chicken with the
second.
semi.
When I see this on TV, I always think, does this guy really think he's getting away? Like, so go ahead.
So I make the corner and I'm like, fuck, we're running out of gas. So when we get back to you running out of gas.
I called it. Yep.
So I'm like, fuck, I'm running out of gas. And I look up in the distance and all I see is lights.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit. Like that one is probably, that's for me.
That one's definitely for you. Yeah.
Now that I look back, it was. Like I thought the one on the bridge was for me too,
Sure.
but now I know it isn't. But the one in front of me is. Fuck, there's a dirt road. I crank this dirt road and turn, and I'm heading up the dirt road trying to stir up dust. And I'm telling the people in the car with me, like, look,
How many people were riding with you?
4.
Holy shit.
My girlfriend at the time, my buddy, and
Wow. That's a lot of fucking people to be carrying in a Sunfire on a high-speed chase.
yeah, a lot.
Jesus. All right, keep going, buddy.
So we head down the dirt road, and I kept telling him, look, just tell him I made you do it. I had a gun. I forced you to go with me. You'll get out of this. Just stay in the car. Let them arrest you. Tell them I made you do it. I'm going to hop out and take off running.
Got it.
I'm just going to run on foot. I'm gone. We get to the end, and it dead ends into the side of a bank, like into a big rock cliff.
Like there's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go except in this house on this side or this trailer on this side.
Damn.
The trailer's easier to defend. Let's go.
Yeah.
I whip into the look, and if I'm just gonna say this before anything, like stories are cool.
Yeah.
Stories are fun to tell, like what I've done. I do not like what I did from here on out.
Got it.
I don't. I look on some of it and I'm like, that was fucking, you're a moron.
Yeah.
Stories are fun to tell though. And as I can look back to what it looked like when I jumped out of that car and the car's still moving across the fucking yard and I went running into a house, like, it's fucking scary.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want that to happen to anybody.
No, you don't want to be the person that's getting run up on.
No, not at all. And I can only imagine what the damage that I did to that family.
How scared they were.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So I hop out the car and I run up in this house and there's a family of 4 in there. The guy takes off running down the hallway. At 125 pounds, he's probably, this just gives you an idea of adrenaline. Like, we've all dealt with adrenaline
Sure.
at some point. I was probably 125, 130 pounds, strung out on drugs, fucked up in my world. I grabbed this guy, 6'2", 6'3", by the shoulders. He's going out the door, and I throw him on the ground one-handed. I don't know how to this day. He went running out the back door, and I grabbed a hold of his shoulder, and I just pulled him to the ground. And he's trying to grab the gun out of my hand. And I just
He's trying to defend his family.
I get it.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So I just fired off a shot through the ceiling. He just drops. He's like, all right, I'm done. All right, let's go. I get him, his wife, and his daughters all in the room. Long story short, there's nothing happening in the house. Nothing. Nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Thank God.
Talk to the cops, figure things out.
So it was like one of those like hostage situations.
It
Got
was
it.
full on hostage situation. It was 9 hours of standoff with the cops.
Holy. So you ran for how long was that process? A couple hours?
Oh yeah, we were
Like that was a while because
yeah,
that was
we
a
were
long story.
130 to 140 miles.
Okay.
Of round.
That's a fucking long ass chase.
And then had a 9-hour standoff with the cops over with hostages. Like,
So-
eventually we let them all go.
Yeah.
Like, go get. I don't want to hurt nobody. I'm sorry.
You weren't trying to hurt anybody,
No,
Jason.
I wasn't. I was trying to defend.
But it compounded so.
And this leads back to the fact of, like, when I felt like I was in trouble,
Yeah.
I didn't try to stop and just reconcile things.
Right there.
Like,
Like 9 steps ago.
when he asked me my name that night, he was going to arrest me because I had a warrant in Johnstown for not reporting to a probation officer. That's it.
And it stops there.
It's it. It's over. I come back to prison
That's a
here in
great point.
Ohio, and who knows where I would be now, but it's done.
Yeah.
Nobody else gets hurt in this process.
And it doesn't compound to.
To what you're about to hear.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't end up being this. So we released everybody. We come out, lay down on the ground, blah, blah, blah. All the normal things that you see. They really do happen. Some of the things you see in the movies really
Yeah.
do happen.
Sure.
Take me to jail. I got interviewed about things all over the U.S. Federal agents came to see me. They're like, who's this and this and this?
You were mixed up in just with so many people.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know shit.
Yeah.
Nothing. I go to court. I plead out to aggravated kidnapping, which was holding the hostages, and then a gun spec for having a gun. And I get 35 years. So
When you hear that because at this point you've already know that this is fucked up.
So
you've had enough time to think about it. You knew it instantly, I'm sure.
There's a lot of lonely nights in a cell thinking about what you did.
I'm sure.
Like,
but when you hear that sentencing, Jason.
At that point in time, I don't know if I'd grown up enough yet, Corey. Like,
really?
Yeah, like 35 years, I'm like, fuck, I'll get out someday. Fuck it.
The mentality's just, it's hard to grasp,
what was the process like when you're when you first got in the cell to the point when you went to court? Did things become more clear for you, or like did
Sobered
the
up.
magnitude of
Oh
like,
yeah,
what
so you were
happened?
on drugs at that point.
That becomes a lot of it, right? Like you stop and you start sobering up and you're like,
things are happening so fast and you're not like clear in the mind, so like you can't even make sense of stuff.
So when you do sit down and you actually stop to think, you're like, really, I really fucked up. Bad. Like I screwed up. Bad.
Yeah.
And then I screwed a lot of people's lives up.
Yeah.
Those 4 people with me ran in the house too. Those 3 people.
So they're also.
So now they're tied up in it, right? So to a point where I didn't want that. Like you were supposed to stay in the car and you were supposed to just give yourself up and tell them I made you do it.
Yeah.
Like it would have just been more charges on me
and they can just slap it on them too.
Right. So now they're in the house and now they're in trouble too. So now I've got their 3 lives on.
Sure.
Later on in life, now I have their 3 lives on my head too.
Of course.
Yeah, they made that decision same way I made mine.
But still.
So things start to clear up and I realize, yeah, you're right, Danny. It's like, fuck, I fucked up bad.
Yeah.
I screwed up. But to get 35 years wasn't a big deal.
No shit.
So interesting.
Yeah, it isn't. But I think it's because you're so in it. Like that's like that fucking. You're still tough or whatever it is.
Right?
Okay.
I'm fucking badass.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Give me whatever. Let's fucking.
Well, and you'd been to prison once, so you're probably like, I know what it is. It's not like the first, but 35 is a long motherfucking time, bro. Fuck.
So at that point in time, and it had now granted they'd give me 10 suspended, which will always hang over my head now. Not always, but it did. And you will get you do at that point in time, and I had got sentenced like 7 days before the law changed. I only have to do half to discharge. Okay. So I only have to do 12 and a half years to get completely clean.
Only.
I know. I say that.
It's fucking crazy.
It's different in views, right? Like I say only 12 and a half years.
But I mean, based off 35, that's, I mean, a fucking
and you're
great.
like other people look at that and go,
holy
what
shit.
What do you mean only 12 and a half?
Yeah.
It really is only 12
It's
and
like
a
a
half
third
years.
almost.
Yeah. Fuck.
So you get that. And transportation, go to prison. So I get there. This cop right out of the gate, as soon as I get to where I'm going, this cop right out of the gate just starts to give me a shit time. And I don't know if he had something to do with the family, what I did or whatever. I show up and he's like, yeah, you're going to a rough block. You watch your mouth up there. That's got the most time of all the people added together in this prison and this and that. And I'm like, okay, like, whatever, dude. You're not scaring me. So I go up to the prison, or I go up to my cell. They put me in it. And he's like, I'd watch your mouth up here. They'll set you straight. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's fine. You know what?
I can't imagine thinking I'm this tough. First off, like I feel like I could handle it. This is like a whole other. Like I could. I'm just saying. Like
and I know I'm not.
I mean, how calloused you are. At that point,
but that's
how
what I'm
your
saying. Yeah,
experience-
of course you do.
Like,
But I'm trying to think like, could I say a fucking like no?
And what's bad is like inside I'm just a scared fucking 14-year-old.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not that tough. I wasn't. I fucking hated fighting. That's why I carried a gun.
Yeah.
Fucking hated it. I'll just carry a gun and I'll scare you.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
You're not going to fight me if I'm holding a gun to you.
True.
I mean, if you do, then
yeah.
well, I guess I'll fucking shoot you. I have to.
Game over real quick.
It's over.
Yeah.
So, like, you just become that persona.
Sure.
Right?
Makes sense.
And I'm not tough, and I know that. I've weathered a lot. I've been through a lot, but like, I've lived on the streets. I've slept on park benches. I slept in fucking fields at night in 30-degree weather. I've been there. I've passed out on benches and woke up and wondered, and the fuck robbed me. You know what I mean? I've been there. I've been through all that. I've done ungodly scenes amount of dope. Like I've shot drugs. I've done it. So
when you're going to this block, you're like, fuck off, dude.
Tell a cop that, okay, whatever. Fuck,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Let's go.
Sure.
This is about to be gladiator school to me. Fuck.
Yeah.
Isn't a big deal. So we go up. He puts me in my cell. The fucking door's open. I'm putting shit away. All I see is this fucking shadow come in my cell. This is how, and this kind of set the tone for my whole prison stay.
Okay.
Like, I feel like now I'm a pretty, how do you say it? I'm a pretty okay, likable guy. I
Okay.
can be. If we sit down and talk and bullshit, like, we could probably be friends.
Yeah.
Like, me and you have become friends.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I try to talk to Cole about his college career because it interests me, things
Yeah.
like that, right? And, like, I look at your pictures and videos because it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Right? And I want to talk to you about rucking. And,
Yeah.
like, I feel like I'm all right like that. And I feel like I could have been that way my whole life.
Okay.
Just give me a chance. Let's talk. Bullshit. At some point, I'll probably become annoyingly likable. So, but like, I'm interested in people and what
Yeah.
they do and how things work. And,
Okay.
and I was then too. Like, as much as I was.
And it helped.
It helps. It helps a lot. So this guy walks in my cell. And I don't know, you guys probably aren't old enough. How old are you?
30.
30, maybe. You remember the show Dallas?
Yeah, of course.
J.R. Ewing?
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, of course. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
There was a guy on there named Patrick Duffy.
Okay. Yeah.
His parents owned a bar in Montana. The guy that walked in my cell was the guy that killed his parents.
Wow.
High profile.
So it was a high profile
Got
case
100
in Montana.
Yeah, got 120 some years or something.
He's your
like that.
cellmate?
No.
Okay.
He's the guy that just rolled in my cell right now and asked me what the fuck I'm doing here.
Jeez. But you don't know that.
I don't know
off
that
the
at
rip.
that point in time.
Yeah.
I don't know that at all. I just know there's this fucking 6'2", fucking 250-pound, got a black fucking long scraggly hair and a goatee, dude. To remind you of the person that you're gonna fucking walk into a prison and see first.
Okay, got it.
So you're shit your pants.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I turned around and you put your fucking game face on, right? And he's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And I turned around and was like, "This is where they put me."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, yeah.
Of all answers, of all answers that come out of my mouth,
Such a cool
I got
guy.
nothing.
Yeah,
turned
yeah.
around and was like, "This is where they put me?"
Yeah, yeah.
And he was like, "No, I mean, they took my fucking buddy out of here and they put you in here." And I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like, this is where they put me. He looked at me and he goes, "You're that kid from TV, aren't you?"
Jeez.
Depends. He goes, "The one that held the hostages." I'm like, "Yeah." He stuck his hand out and shook my hand. He was like, "Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Sean." I was like, "Jason?" He goes, "Yeah, I know who you are." And he walked back out of my cell and it was gone. And I was like, that was the fucking weirdest
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
in the world.
Jesus.
This dude just came in here to throttle me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recognized
And
me.
somehow
We
you got.
shook hands and I made the dumbest comments in the world to him and he left and we're cool.
And you lived.
Right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden everyone's coming in. Like, hey, we watched your story. Hey,
I mean, for lack of a better word, you're like a mild celebrity when you got there.
slightly because I'd been on the news for fucking ever. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah, yeah. So they knew, well, this guy's coming in soon.
Jeez, yeah. So I'm here now, right? And he wasn't shitting. Like, there's guys on this block that have like 430 years.
Like dudes have done some.
They're never getting out.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, the one guy was in for multiple rape and killings, and I mean, it's fucking.
That's
rough.
what's crazy about that situation is these are the people you're interacting with,
Yes.
like every day.
Yep.
And you're like, you had that in you?
Yep.
You're that's possible? Like,
And it's funny, you don't know until
Yeah.
you hear somebody's crime. You don't know what that people are like.
What
You
they're
don't-
How
capable
does
of.
that even come up? Like, are you guys just like shooting the shit and it just casually comes up, or like are people like straight up asking each other?
You can ask, depending on
yeah, what's
who-
the culture like?
Because like that's got to be.
Depending on who you're friends with, like you could always ask. Like you could always
Like, what you down for?
Yeah, like what are you down for? Like what'd you do? It comes up. Other people just know what other people did. Like that guy, that cop that gave me shit, his brother was on that block.
Got it.
Interesting.
Come to find out, he tried to get his brother to fuck me up. And I don't know why to this day. I don't
Yeah.
know if he had a tie to that family or what.
Something.
You know,
Those
so,
towns is small, bro.
no shit.
Yeah.
So like his brother had 432 years.
Shit.
You know, you're talking like 9 rapes, 8 kills. And the only reason he got caught because one of the girls lived. I mean, come on.
And that's who you're like eating lunch by.
He's in the cell next to me.
Yeah. Do you realize that obviously at that point you're like, I'm not this way. Like that's like a dull different
That's a whole different level. Dude. There's.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know, like I used to tell Mo all the time, like, I know a couple things I don't have in me. One of them was a bottle of vodka, an AK-47, and whatever how he got caught. I'm like, I just know that's not me.
His shit was wild.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, that you hear that and you're like, now I'm in the same spot as this person that did this, but I'm not, you know, this guy.
It's really weird, right? Like that is a weird way of looking at it. Like I guess I've never thought about it that way. Like, it's hard to see myself now capable of driving that car that fast and running from those cops and running into somebody's house. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to see that.
That it's even the same guy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know, so when you tell people like, I was a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
I was a dick. I was the guy you did not want to run into.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, I don't see it.
Motherfucker, it was there at one point.
I'm going to tell you it was there. And
Yeah.
That's who I was. So, yeah. So look at it like that, Corey, is like really weird to me. Like,
Yeah. That's the first thing I thought. Like I would think.
Living with these people, I did some shit. Like
to have to live with these
to
people.
have to be here.
Yeah.
But I think at the point in time, you just become, I don't want to call it numb.
No,
but
I mean, it's.
But you resolve yourself to the fact that I have to fucking.
No other choice.
Yeah.
I don't. Somebody asked me that like one time, like, how do you fucking do that? Well, you have no choice.
Yeah, I mean, there's no one asking
What
you
are you
like,
gonna do? Or you
would you want to go somewhere else tomorrow?
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
fuck off.
what do you want to go to camp?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, those days is over.
Yeah. So we spend 3 months there.
Okay.
Well, Montana had been shipping people around to private prisons due to overcrowdedness.
Got it.
The prisons were only supposed to hold like 1,200 and some people. They're running at like 1,600.
Got it.
So they have to contract private prisons. They fucking roll in one night and they're like, Tomlinson, pack your shit. You're going to Texas. I'm like,
Oh shit.
okay. Fuck, let's go.
Yeah.
So we take a 28-hour fucking bus ride chained to somebody else on hard fucking seats all the way to Texas. We show up at a prison that doesn't have fences around it, that has Hawaiians and people from Colorado on the same deal. They're on transfer. Mm-hmm. And we're in an all-out party.
Really?
Oh, my God, Corey. There are fucking drugs. There's people running away from the prison. There's fucking fights. There's riots.
What the fuck was it?
It was a private prison.
Oh, okay. So it's obviously different. Okay.
It was just so wild to show up to a prison like this. Like, there's a main building, there's a pole barn that's the lunchroom, there's a yard with a fence around it, and then there's 7 buildings on the outside, 2 sides to them that have beds in them.
Bunkhouses.
Yeah. So we're like,
And you're just running wild.
oh, dude, it's fucking crazy. They've already had a riot before we showed up. Guy got shot with rubber bullets. Guy died on the yard, got hit with some weights. So we have to spend 6 months here.
So do you like it better than Montana?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay.
Way better.
Because it feels like you're like chilling.
Well, yeah, I roll in the first night, and we'd been on this bus not sleeping. Shitty,
Yeah.
right? So I climb up in my bunk, and I lay down, and I wake up to this smell, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? I lean over the bed, and there's 4 Mexicans sitting down there around a 5-gallon bucket drinking hooch.
Got it. Which is like liquor from
Yeah,
inside.
it's
Yeah.
just homemade liquor.
Yeah.
I look down, and the one looks up at me and goes, "Oh, we being too loud?" And I'm like, "Nah, dude, I woke up." And he's
Yeah.
like, "All right, well, here, sleep with this." And he hands me this piece of fucking rebar about this long. It's got a sharp point on it. I'm like, "Okay."
Okay.
I just put it down to my side and go back to sleep.
Thanks for the heads up, dude.
I'm like, what the fuck did I just get myself into? So, like,
Thanks, bro.
yeah, I appreciate that.
Here's your shank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, this is how you get introduced here, right? Just hand you a piece of fucking, give you a
Jeez.
shank, and we're good to go. So,
Free for all.
yeah, pretty much. And it was like, it was fucking wild. Like, there's drugs being brought in dropped off outside, and guys going out and cleaning ditches and stuff, picking it up, bringing it back in. I mean,
So you get anything basically.
oh, yeah, pretty much. Like, we were running around with ounces of dope on us, left and right.
That's crazy.
Quarter ounces of crank. methamphetamine. Like, just, it was fucking wide open.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
this is the best thing ever.
Well, and that's not going to help the rehabilitation part.
Not at all, my friend.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
at all.
that's what, my next
Not
question.
at all.
Because then
Like,
you're just in the same.
Yeah.
You're doing the same shit. Now you're just locked
we're
up.
doing the same exact shit, right? So
So 6 months there.
we were 6 months here.
Okay.
They lose their contract to us, so Montana's got to move again. So then we moved to Tennessee. So there's a company called CCA. It's Corrections Corporation of America. Their original prison is in Tennessee. That's where we end up. We end up there. We're locked up with people from North Carolina, Virgin Islands, and federal detainees.
Okay.
They're pre-trial, so they're not even gone to trial yet. They're just being held until they go to trial and then get moved. So we're down there, and it turns into a huge fucking party too. Like, party enough, like we're sitting in a cell one night, like 8 of us, just fucking getting baked, smoking weed, like smoke just rolling, right?
Yeah.
This fucking cop rolls by, and he opens the door, and he goes, "Smells good," shuts the door on us. It's like, that's fucking weird. Everybody get rid of their shit. Like, we're going to get in trouble. Fuck, we're hiring a kite, right? So people start eating their shit. I popped the button on the intercom. They popped the door open. This fucking captain comes in, and this fucking just tells you what kind of place it was. He's, I don't know, he's like fucking 5'2", curled hair, like rolls in, and we're all lined up against the wall. And he starts at that end, and he walks up to everybody, and he looks at him, and he goes, "Yup, you're high. Yup." And the closer he gets to me, the more I start laughing.
Jeez.
Because you can't control it.
I can't, dude. It's so fucking funny. He just like, yup, and he's just labeling off us like we're fucking high, and I'm fucking baked. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh shit. Oh, and he gets to me, and he stops and looks at me, and I just roll. I'm like, ha ha. And he goes, "Oh, for sure."
Yeah.
So, but it's that kind of place, right?
Yeah.
There's pills running around, and we're shooting drugs, and I'm like, fuck, this is crazy, right? So we just spend a year and a half there, and they finally built a CCA in Montana. So we all get transferred back to the CCA or back to the state prison. So the CCA is in a little town. You know what? Like, I've seen the country. I've seen a lot of it. I've seen a lot of things. Well, then I'm getting the tour travel through prison too, right?
Yeah.
Like, so we go back to the CCA, and it's in a little town called Shelby. And we're there for a while. And these are people starting up a prison from a poor community, right, that don't know any different. So there's people bringing drugs in, and the visitations are going, well, they start bringing in people that have been to bigger prisons and to try to corral us. So things start to die down, this and that. So I'm supposed to go up for parole in 2002.
How long have you been down at this point?
Let's see, since 96.
Okay.
And this would have been 2001.
Okay.
I think.
So yeah, you're in. I mean,
Yeah, we're
5 years.
Yeah, we're
basically.
into it pretty good.
Yeah.
So I go.
5 years is a long time still.
It was. Well, and I look back on it and think like it's a lot of wasted years of my life, right? Like, who knows what I could have been if I'd have just stuck it out and done the right thing in life. But it seemed like it went by really fast.
Okay.
It went by in a stupor. Like we were trashed all the time.
Sure.
Any chance you get. So, and this is the one I asked you the other day. I told you when we were talking about doing this was like, Carrie wants to know, do you know how we met?
Yeah. Well, I kind of know, but I can't wait for you to actually tell me.
So this is where we're at.
Okay.
Like, we've went through a riot.
Okay.
We've been in a riot in this new prison.
Carrie's his wife, by the way.
Yes, Carrie is my wife, just so everybody
Yeah.
knows. So we go through a riot. We go through a sit down. We go through fucking all kinds of shit in this new prison to get things squared away, right? And we're not going to win this. We're not going to win any of it because, obviously,
Yeah.
right? They're going to end up winning. And those are things I've learned through life, right? Like, no matter what, I've never won. Like, I didn't win my first trial or my first case, and I ended up in prison. You know what? I didn't win the second time. I ended up back in prison. I had a sit down. I didn't win. We were in a couple riots. I didn't win. I end up on the lockdown side no matter what. I know that now. You know what? When the cop says put your hands out the window and get out of the car, lay down on the ground, put your hands behind your head. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to win if I don't do it.
Yeah, facts.
It's going, you
finally learned.
Yeah, I did, right? So I know that now. Well, like at that point, like we're not going to win. So I decided 6 months before my parole date, so I can get out, I'm going to clean up. I'm going to get sober. I'm not doing this no more. I'm done. I'm tired.
Finally had enough.
Yes. Somewhere the beginning of 2002, I see a female in street clothes walking around with a bunch of new guards. They're all new guards. Mm-hmm. I'm like, who is that? Don't ever see her again. I'm like, I didn't see her for a couple weeks. Next thing I know, I worked in the gym at the time.
Okay.
So I had to play handball a lot, lifted some, we didn't have free weights because they wouldn't let us have them. We had machines. So you work out on the machines, played a lot of basketball. And they had a hobby shop. So I sit in the hobby shop and I would hitch horsehair for extra money. Because at that point in time, let me put some context to this. At that point in time, I made $30 a month.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Fucking crazy.
$30 a month. I mean, we put $30 in our gas tank now and can't even fill it up.
Yeah, facts.
So you make horsehair to sell on the outside world to make some extra cash. Well, I was coming in from the hobby shop, and I went to turn the corner on my stairs, and I wasn't paying attention. I had a pair of big old Sony headphones I had hawked from somebody for some horsehair. I had them on, and I got fucking king studding it with my CD player, and I turned the corner, and I about ran into this girl. There she is. I was like, fuck. Excuse me. And I walk up the stairs, and she walks away, and I stop and stare. Like, fuck, that's a female's ass, right? I'm going to stop and look.
Yeah.
I mean,
Of course.
So I go to my cell. I can't quit thinking about her, this and that. Well, she ends up in the gym a lot. Like, she ends up working. So we had 3 units and 1 central control to control all those units. She works that central control a lot and the gym. She's always around. And I was like, fuck. So one night I got stuck. They had females on the other side of the prison. So anytime the females needed to move prisoners, they would always lock the guys down. No matter where you were at, you had to lock down. You didn't move. You weren't even allowed to look at them. Mm-hmm. So I was stuck at the gym one night with her, and we were walking up and down the hallway, and we talked a lot. Talked a lot that night. And look, I always tell her, and I say, I got you because I'm slick. Right? I'm smooth.
Yeah.
I was not the smoothest motherfucker ever. I don't give a fuck, right? So I stumble over words and fucking nervous as fuck, right? I'm talking, not only you're talking to a female you find attractive. You hadn't been around one in you're going on fucking 6 years, right? This is also somebody, if things go wrong, like, you could get in deep shit.
Facts.
You could actually catch a new case.
Yeah.
Not cool. So you have to kind of watch what you're doing, right? But she's playing back, and I'm like, this is fucking cool, right? Fucking great. We talk a few more times at the gym, and one day I just walked in and was like, look, I'm just going to tell you right now, I really like you. I just want you to know that. And she didn't say nothing. I was like, fuck. All right, I'm done. I'm out of here. I went back. Went about my way, but she didn't go away. We kept talking. Sometime in June of that year, she ends up getting fired because she wasn't strict enough. She wasn't a tough ass. She just wasn't the kind to find somebody to write something up. She caught somebody tattooing, and she just kind of turned and kept walking.
Got it.
So she got fired. And we had a mutual friend that was still a guard there. And I was in the gym one day, and I was standing there. She's like, hey, somebody's waiting on you to call them. And I was like, what? And she goes, here's a phone number. She goes, you should go call it.
And you didn't know who it was?
At that point, I wasn't sure, but I was hoping.
Hoping, yeah, of course.
Because that's the only mutual friend that we had.
Yeah,
it
makes sense.
Fuck, really? I put all my shit away and went to the fucking cell. I'm like, I'm out of here. I'm going to go fucking call.
Yeah.
So I went and called, and she answered. So at the same time this is happening, so I've withdrawn from drugs multiple times. One of them was every time was when we got moved to a new prison. We got to Tennessee, and I withdrew. I laid in bed for a fucking week, sick, puking, couldn't eat, couldn't do nothing. Got over it, found more drugs. go right back at it. 6 months from my parole date, I'm like, I'm fucking done. That's it. I'm tired. I had a guy walk in my cell, and he goes, hey, want to get high? I'm like, nope. You could have probably smacked him in his face, and his eyes wouldn't have been as big as they were.
You couldn't believe you said no.
Couldn't believe the guy I smoked weed with a lot.
Yeah.
He was like, what? I said, I think I'm done right now. I made the decision at that point in time that was it. I was going to be done, be clean, get out. That's what I wanted. In the meantime, through all of this, I had met her. So, so now I got extra,
motivation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So me and her are talking on the phone a lot. We're like, I'm calling, she's accepting, we're talking, this and that. And one day just was it. Like, I need to know. Like, I was like, so how would you like to carry my last name? And I'll never forget it. And she will fucking hear this, and she will deny this until this day.
Disclaimer.
Disclaimer. Telling you, how would you like to carry my name? And she was like, I thought you'd never ask. And I was like, what the fuck just happened?
And you just got engaged.
I got engaged. I signed a power of attorney for her to sign my name. She went down to the local courthouse on a Monday, had the justice of the peace on her lunch hour, a sheriff and another lady witness it, signed my name, and we were married.
Holy fuck.
While you were still in
I was
prison.
still locked up, and I did not know I was even married until the next day.
Jeez,
So I never knew I was married until Tuesday.
Yeah.
When they called me to legal mail, and there's my letter.
So good.
There's my marriage license.
Surprise.
Right?
Yeah.
So-
wow, that's wild.
So I'm married.
Cole's eyes look like they're about to fall out his
Dude,
head.
I literally feel like I'm watching like a Netflix movie.
Facts.
Like, documentary series right now.
I told you,
I'm literally.
this is even because the way he's
Yeah.
articulated this entire
yeah.
story has been amazing. Because I'm sure, obviously, at points you're like, not proud of this, not
No,
proud of
not
that.
at all.
But now we're getting to the good
Yeah,
part.
no.
Now you're in love.
Yeah.
You're in love.
Yes.
And you're married.
Yeah.
But how much time do you still have to be down? at this
I
point?
have, when we got married was like 7 days before I went to the parole board.
Okay.
That's fucking weird, right? Like,
Jeez.
things went really fast. So,
Okay.
like, I was six and a half going to the parole board.
Okay.
6 1/4, I guess, going to the parole board. So I go to the parole board 7 days after we get married. And I'm like, look, I'm straight, I'm clean, I just want a chance to get out. And I got married. And they're like, what?
How?
What the fuck did
Yeah.
you just say? You've been married, like, you just got married? Yeah. Well, we don't find that. And that's fucked up, right? The only thing they pick out of everything
Was that? Yeah.
They pick that. Like, we don't seem like that's that's a rash decision. How would you do that?
Oh, geez.
No. Come back in a year and see us.
And it's that quick.
That's it. It's over.
So I've heard that from, like, when I've been online about guys that they get built up and then they go, see you in 2 years, and you're just like,
Yeah.
and it happens that quick.
Yep. So
Was you demoral? I mean,
you're a little fucked, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, fuck, you built yourself up. I got clean. You motherfucker, you got clean 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Which is what, you know what I mean? Like, all these things that you're sad about are also, you have to look at the reality of what you really are.
yeah.
But nobody gets their first parole out.
Got it.
Nobody.
Okay.
Everybody had already said that, so I had already had that in my mind.
Okay.
So I wasn't as down.
Super surprised.
Yes. So being my wife, at this point,
So good.
it's pretty
It's
wild,
amazing.
right?
Yeah.
She worked at the prison. They won't let her come visit me. We can't have visitation.
Got it.
I have a good friend that got in trouble for a whole bunch of big time drug shit. He was a lawyer on the street. He's like, look, I'll draw you up a lawsuit. So they have to either pay you or let her come visit, or they'll move you. And I'm like, you can do that?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. I was like, what do you want for it? He goes, well, I want that pen that you have. Well, my buddy gave me a pen that his grandma had bought him, which was like a $60 ink pen.
Okay.
And he's like, I want that fancy ink pen. I'm like, here, fuck, do it. He did it and filed it. And we filed against the lady that's in charge of the mailroom and the warden of the prison for not letting her visit for like $2.some million.
Oh, that'll get some attention.
And it did. It got enough attention. He got served with it on Friday. The following Thursday, they moved me out of the prison. Moved me back. I dropped a lawsuit. I could go back to state prison. She can come visit me now. So I move in March. You have to wait 30 days for her to do background checks, all of this. My wife walked in the prison in April. I had never hugged her. I'd never kissed her. We had never held hands. I'd never done anything.
Yeah, because you couldn't being a prisoner
Yeah.
and her working
So
there.
I'm just going to let you know that was probably the most awkwardest moment.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. You're like,
I know, right?
Just imagine someone acting that in a TV show, like, or something like that. I can't even like imagine.
The Austin Powers scene.
Yep.
I mean, that would be.
You walk in and there stands your wife. I mean, it's not like this ain't just somebody that's come visit you, right? I mean, like, we're married.
What do you
And
say
have been
first?
now for a while.
Hi.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
He's like, hey, girl.
hey,
yeah.
you know, so we go on and visit, right? I get moved from, in Montana, they have a high side and a low side. High side is your more advanced criminals, I call them.
Yeah.
You know, it's your more people that need more security.
More dangerous.
Well, then your low side. So at this point in time, like, I've been good. So we were, I had, in this time when we got married and I got flopped, I ended up getting in trouble. I had this captain come in when I worked in the gym, and he was like, it was like 7:30 at night. He's like, look, the people that, he was from Texas, and he had this fucking accent, and it was fucking hilarious to me. And he goes, you got to stay late tonight. Huh? You got to stay late and clean the prison. Clean this wall and stuff. The people that do their, kind of approve them for all their you know, stuff, however you want to say it, to make sure they get funding.
Sure.
And they're okay as a prison.
Yeah.
We're coming the
Got
next
it.
day. You need to stay and clean. What the fuck I do? I ain't doing shit. I worked this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to do it. I said, no, I'm not. I just got to burr up my ass all of a sudden. I didn't like him, and he didn't like me. And once again, I don't win.
Yeah.
And I should have fucking recalled that in my head and just stayed. Lock him up. Fuck. So my year, stay clean, come and see us in a year, just got fucked. Go to the hole.
Just from that.
That's it.
One fucking.
It's over.
Jeez.
So I get, boom, go to the hole. Then the lawsuit, all that happens. I get moved. I'm supposed to go to the board again in a year, so I go up. But I go up with this write-up on me. And I'm like, look, it was me and a captain that we had problems. And it went beyond just that moment. And that was my fault. I apologized. I'm sorry. There was a guy on the parole board, and I wish I knew his name. To this day, I don't. I could probably find my paperwork and get his name where he signed it.
Yeah.
He was the hardest guy on the parole board. He was because the parole board's made up of people in the community.
Got
from
it.
around the state. One of them was a farmer, one's a pilot, one's something. This guy was a fucking prick. Period. Straight up prick. No matter, anytime you talk to somebody about going to the parole board, this guy's name came up.
He was the fucking.
He was the ring. Like,
Yeah.
he was the guy that spoke, and he was the guy that made the decision, right?
Yeah.
He almost like he made the decision, and
They
the other
followed.
two followed him. He looked at me and he goes, you give me 1 year clean and you come back, I'll let you out. Okay. Not a problem.
Just throws a year out like it's just.
That's it.
Like it's nothing.
Right? You get 1 year clean, come back, I'll let you out. I was like, okay. All right.
And that was it.
Not a problem. I get moved to the low side for clean conduct. Carrie's still coming to see me.
Yeah.
We're visiting. We're about to go to the parole board again. I'm clean. He told me. I got signed paperwork. I go up in front of the parole board. What are you doing here? You specifically told me to give you a year clean and you'd let me out. Never forget it. The guy sitting next to him slid the paper to him. He looked down and he goes, well, shit, I did, didn't I?
Shit. Because they had taken notes saying that.
Parole granted.
Fuck.
I was
yeah.
like,
And how long total? What were we
that
at?
would
7
have
and a
been 7, almost 8.
8.
Almost 8. Almost 8.
And what year is this, Jay?
2002.
Okay.
Describe that feeling.
It was fucking, I'm telling you what, dude, there ain't nothing like it.
So
I
you got
couldn't-
out in 2002.
I couldn't, and I only reference this because I've done it, and you guys, I'm figuring you haven't. I could not do a shot of dope that would make me feel that good
yeah.
that day.
Yeah.
Just everything. Finally.
Oh,
right?
the weight had to be
It was gone.
astronomical.
Like, you're giving me my out. But the out, it comes with stipulation.
Sure.
Obviously, I'm on parole, blah, blah, blah. You have to leave our state.
Oh, they don't even want you there no more.
Oh, fuck. I don't have nobody there except her.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm not from there.
Yeah.
So I have to do what they call an interstate compact back to Ohio. So I file all that, right? It goes out, it comes back. It's the Department of Justice has to do all their investigations, and a whole bunch of things happened in the works. Well, like 6 months later, like it's hard to explain how stressful it is.
So they don't say you're out and then you're walking out that day.
No, sir. Not
Fuck.
happening. So you're sitting on pins and needles every day. Like
I'm
it
sure.
could get fucking ruined in the matter of
Oh yeah, one
It's over.
fight.
Somebody says the wrong thing. Somebody does the wrong thing. Some cop feels like he has a fucking boner for you. You're done.
Yeah.
Like it's over.
You're on pins and needles.
So all the time you're
Till
watching
you
what you're
walk out
doing.
of that motherfucker.
Exactly. So like
Jeez.
there is nothing. There is no words, no feelings, no anything in me that will ever describe what I feel for my wife and sticking by me the way she did.
I mean, yeah.
We went toe to toe every day she was stressed out trying to get me out. She
Yeah.
was stressed out trying to get to see me. She was stressed out trying to get a hold of the right people to get me out. Like,
Yeah.
let's get this ball rolling. 6 months later, she calls somebody here in Ohio. Like, we can't figure out where my paperwork is. Nothing. Nobody can figure anything out. She gets a hold of somebody in Columbus at the Interstate Compact Department, some lady, and says, hey, my husband has been 6 months. We've been trying to get him out. The paperwork is sitting there somewhere. Where's it at? Can you please check? The lady goes down, finds the paperwork, calls my wife back, says, I just faxed it back. It's done. Just like that. I said, if I knew that lady, I would send her flowers.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's all it took, was somebody going to get the paperwork and sending it.
But that's
it.
Wow.
Nothing will ever describe what I feel for my wife.
Oh my
for
gosh.
all of this whole time, and the shit that she had to go through. So they give me a date. Here you go. You're done. You're out. Here's your due
What
date.
date is that?
November 14th. It was beginning of November. I can't tell you the exact day, honestly.
2003?
2002.
2002. So man, this is fucking
No, 2004.
2004.
I get out. 2002, we get married. 2004, I get out. It's 2 years after we get married.
I mean, and this is like damn near 20 years ago, bro.
Yeah, it's fucking
That's crazy.
almost. It's just past my 19th year
Wow.
of being out. So,
Holy shit.
so
Let that sink in. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
I mean, and that's like I have a stepbrother from my dad's side.
Mm-hmm.
We're really close. We talk every now and then. He called me or texted me every year.
I'm sure.
1 year, 2 years, 3 years,
Yeah.
like
And you just came up on 19.
19. Just past 19 years.
Wow, Jason. You know, it's so, well, one, I knew enough about the story, right? So I wasn't really surprised by anything. But the amount, well, here, first off, the percentage of guys that now get to sit like you are here, meaning with it together, right?
So that's really hard, right? Like I'm a minority
For sure.
in that instance.
I know you are.
I've seen friends, prison friends. I've seen people come and go 3 and 4 times.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like I was around enough to see that happen 3 and 4 times. I had a guy that came and went 4 times. A friend.
While you were there.
Like, what are you doing? I have a friend. He was actually my cellmate for a long time. Me and him were road dogs, dude. We were inseparable.
Mm-hmm.
He's back again. I'm like, dude, what are you?
Carrie made a huge difference in your life,
Huge.
dude.
I don't give a fuck. Like, there's nothing. Me getting sober.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, and it ain't no
The love
secret.
did it, bro.
Like, I've never told my story on this big of a platform, right?
Sure.
Like, I've never have. I've told friends sitting around a fucking table
Of course.
playing cards.
Yeah.
Like, tell stories, and people look at me
You should
like,
be proud that you came
what
from
the
that,
fuck
Jay.
Did you do? I'm like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
Do people really do that? Yeah, they do.
So
I
that's
did.
the one thing I'll tell you is that when you think rationally, right, just out here, and then you run into something that somebody thinks irrational, like you did in that moment when you jumped out of that car and ran into that person's house. It's so scary because, like, if somebody would run up on, I've been robbed at gunpoint once, and that person had killed 2 people actually 2 weeks prior to that, and you can't really identify with what they're thinking, so it's uncontrollable. Yeah. So that's the one thing that's really hard to grasp when you're in those moments, that those people are at such a point you don't know what they're going to do. And neither did that guy.
Nope.
And luckily you didn't go one more step, right? But that right there is such a thin
Well, yeah, because I mean, I shot through the roof to get him to calm down.
There you go.
What if I would have accidentally went off
Yeah.
facing him?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I mean, so many things could go wrong, right? And then you're right; it's a very thin line
It's the
where
thin
things
line.
go wrong.
Yeah.
You know, they're already wrong.
Sure. So I'll throw it to you guys in a second. When you think about this whole entire, well, first off, sharing that had to be, crazy and hard, I'm sure, right? Because now you have a daughter that's 8th, 9th grade, right?
Seventh
Grade.
Yep, seventh.
So it's like she's going to get older. She's going to know these things. It's whatever. But the reality is that you've built such a good life since that point when you walked out, Jason. Like, yeah, you're not going to be like ultimately unbelievably proud about some of those things. But to come back from that, dude, motherfuckers, you are the minority and you should be proud of that. Like, that's why I wanted to hear the full story, because
as days go by,
yeah,
I'm more and more proud of who I've become.
For
right?
sure.
Like, I'm proud.
You're
of
not
the
supposed to
fact-
make it, Jay.
No, I wasn't.
From what you said in the beginning, what kind of setup is that?
I should be dead.
Exactly.
Let's just face it. That's where I should be.
It could have
And all
happened 9
right-
different times
Yeah.
in one story you told us.
It could. I should be dead.
Yeah.
You know, and to avoid all of that,
Yeah.
and avoid being strung out enough to be maybe just OD.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that simple. You know, not only fucking get shot,
Yeah.
run over, I could OD'd,
Yeah.
right? And like, to go through all of that and still have the whereabouts to go, I'm going to fucking sober up and I'm going to
Yeah.
get out of here.
I'm going to build a life for myself.
And then to have a wife that saved me, period. I don't give a
Facts.
fuck. She's like, I didn't. And
She's
I'm
like a saint, dude.
Yeah, big time. She's big time. She has enough points in heaven to get me in.
Oh, Max. They carry over.
I hope so. So yeah, I wasn't in the beginning at all.
Yeah.
I wasn't. Like, the hardest part about telling the stories is if not only worry, but that somebody will look at you different.
Well, there is people that will look at you different. That's a fact.
But look at me different in the wrong way.
Well,
The way-
no, that you run that risk. That's a
Yes,
fact.
I do.
We had Anthony Oliveira on the
Anthony said
podcast, and he said, and me and was it just me? Was it,
It was me and you.
So he said that he had been clean from like heroin or something crazy for like
Yeah.
10 years. And the first thing me and Cole did is went and give him Nux.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, he goes, I can see it in the first 10 seconds when I tell somebody that,
Yeah.
if they're
You
judging
can.
me. And that right there is something you're never going to be able to
No.
get away from.
And I
right?
can't overcome that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can't overcome the fact that if I ask somebody for a job and they ask me, do you have a felony? Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. And you can't avoid that.
No.
And I can't avoid the fact that, you know what, that day, fucking 18 and a half years ago,
Yeah.
you know, or 17 and a half years ago, I decided to get sober.
Yeah.
And I don't have that anymore. But to know that I did it,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, the worst, and it gets easier. It does get easier to less worry that people do look at me any different.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it doesn't.
Yeah, no,
Like,
it's always going to be there.
Like, I respect you completely as a human, and I like you a lot as a friend.
Yeah.
A lot. To tell my story that you're smiling and not looking at me cross-eyed,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what the fuck do we have this guy in this place for?
Hey.
Oh, fuck.
Everybody loves a good
what I
comeback
mean?
story, homie.
And, like, look around just to see someone's reaction. Like, he's right. That is
Yeah.
complete. In the first 10 seconds you say something,
And I never thought about it that way because I've never had to endure something like that, right? I mean, from that standpoint, because drugs and crime and stuff, people, they fucking, well, if he do it once, he could do it again. And,
Yep.
and maybe that's the case for a lot of people, but it's not the case for you.
no, not at all.
And it isn't for Anthony either.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that, that would be tricky to battle.
It is.
In
And it
relationships.
is every day. But like I said, every day it gets easier.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
sure.
every day it gets easier if somebody's
Because
like,
you're not that person anymore.
Like, I have friends that make fun of me now about
Yeah.
prison. Like, somebody will say something, they'll be like, yeah, prison. And
So
I'm
the
like,
first time you took your shirt off at in one of the CrossFit workouts, I could tell by his tattoos. I was like, this dude's got a story. I watched enough Tupac videos in my day. I was like,
seen that,
I
haven't
saw
you?
it. I was like, I go, this guy got a story. And then I kind of chirped at Eric one day. He's like, oh yeah, he got a story.
So that was my idol.
Yeah, of
Like,
course.
That guy was, he
I
sang
drew
the
it.
lyrics I lived.
I drew a ton
Like,
of inspiration.
I wanted that, right?
Yeah.
I wanted the lyrics he was singing. And I was like, fuck, I get the tattoo then. Fuck it.
Yeah.
So I did. So I got Thug Life across my stomach. The same exact way. It doesn't say that anymore. It's all changed now.
What's it say now?
It says hashtag Hug Life.
Hug life.
Now-
That's right. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I forgot you did that.
I did and it changed because like the closest thing you can give to somebody, no matter what, is to show
Is a hug.
Is give them a hug.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe all somebody needs in this life, maybe they just need a fucking hug.
There you go.
Give a hug. So then I put a rocket ship where the bullet was
Yeah.
for my daughter. It's like she always used to call the bullet when she was growing up, sitting on my lap. She goes, "You're a rocket ship, Daddy." So when I went in, I sat down and I told the guy when I was laying there, I was like, "Look, I'm like, my daughter always said like he was going to make it a bear, and I'm like, look, my daughter's always called it a rocket ship.
Make it a fucking rocket.
He took a marker on the spot and went,
Yeah.
and drew it all out, and it was a rocket ship.
amazing.
So
So
now
good.
I have hashtag Hug Life with a rocket ship on it. And
That's epic.
That's dope.
Couldn't even make this shit up if we
That's
tried.
so good. That's so good. Yeah.
so
Who wants to go first?
Well, one thing that you mentioned early on in your story was just taking ownership and not blaming
Yes.
other people. And like that is like huge. How many people you see like pointing the finger
a
every
lot.
which way, right?
I'm going to tell you right now, in prison, and it happens on the streets, obviously, right? Somebody's always blaming somebody for their downtrodden times. Always. If it wasn't for them firing me, well, what'd you
Yeah.
do to get fired?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I would have a job, or like I lost my car. Well, did you make your fucking car payment?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, so like somebody's always blaming somebody, and it's, to me, that's the easy way out.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like to not take ownership of knowing right from wrong is like, don't do that. Seriously, don't be that person to me. Like if you didn't do it or you did do it, just claim it.
Yeah.
You know what? I had never blamed a soul ever. Like you fucking blame my mom for a lot, believe me. Like,
Yeah.
I could blame
It would've
my
been an
mom.
easy one to blame.
Been way easy. Just blame my mom. You know what? Just I'm that person that I don't blame anybody but myself. I also don't have a relationship with her.
Yeah.
You put me in a lot of bad situations. I know right from wrong now. Right? I didn't have to go run on the streets with all the guys and learn how to cook crack and learn how to sell drugs and learn how to carry
Sure.
a gun and hold people hostage, and I didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
I chose to do that. So
Understanding that though is why you're here though too, bro. That's
and I
probably
think
one of
that's
the biggest.
and I do. I think that's
Yeah.
one of the biggest proponents to me
Yeah.
being able to come back from, I always call it the trenches of hell, because that's what it is, right? Like, like I said, I've went from, park benches and needles in my arm,
Yeah, it's crazy.
to yeah, I don't have a glorious life.
Well, that's what I was
all-
kind of like wondering, like, because obviously you had that early on, but how is that transition once you got out? Like, because you obviously probably that's at the forefront is still
Just
taking
process
ownership
stuff the
of
same
It
yourself.
way,
is.
yeah.
So I told this, and I will say I did tell Corey this off this morning. So I get out, right? I walk out to the parking lot, and my wife's standing at the back of the car, and it's like the most glorious thing in the fucking world. right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm fucking free.
Hallelujah.
Who's gonna come? Who's gonna come running after me and arrest me? Right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, you're like, fuck. They always say when you drive away from prison, turn your mirrors down. Don't look back.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Like that gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, of course.
It does me.
Yeah.
Like turn your mirrors down. So she didn't know that. As we're driving and I hit you have a checkpoint station at the beginning of the prison at the edge of the fences. I pull up to the checkpoint, give them my ID, the paperwork that I'm supposed to give them to get out. He hands it back and he goes, "You have a nice day." And I went and hit the button and turned both mirrors in
Yep.
and drove. And she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just not looking back."
Fucking love
That's
it.
it. So, yeah, it's like
amazing.
fuck,
Fucking
man.
awesome.
Probably
It's
just put you back there for a
It
second.
did. It did.
Yeah.
And I can picture it. Like that's the
Yeah.
hardest part. Like I told you, is like days go by that my feet hit the floor, and I'm fucking thankful
Yeah.
for where I am every day. No one can ever take this from me except me.
Yeah, facts.
I own this now. I am thankful I'm here.
Yeah.
But more and more as days go by, it becomes such a distant memory. Like it's so gone.
It's a different life, bro.
It is. It's way different. And it's like my drug existence is like, people are always like, "You're always an addict." I am. I'm always going to be an addict because I was always there. But every day goes by, it becomes easier and easier.
Yeah.
I don't fucking think about it. Like it's not a thing anymore. Like I don't have that inkling to fucking go smoke weed or to shoot drugs. I don't have that.
Yeah.
It's not there. So like things become easier.
Yeah.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
So you're never recovered, but I feel like I am.
Yeah.
That exceeded my expectations.
Trayvon, what do you got to say, buddy?
I just thought it was like really like interesting and refreshing to hear your story of like just how you turn your life around in general. Because like my dad personally has been in and out of prison throughout basically my whole life. So like it's super like, I don't know, inspirational is not the right word obviously for me, but it's just really refreshing to hear someone though that, you know, went through like similar situations, but then did flip their life around, you know?
Yeah, because to this point, you're thinking, because he basically never did that. So it's like to hear somebody that has,
To hear someone that has,
got to
though.
feel good. So
Yes.
somebody's kid gets a different story.
Yes.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
My daughters. And she's asked me. She goes, I want to hear your stories. I'm like, when you're older. Just-
So
you're
one
not-
thing I'll tell you too, what's interesting, Jay, obviously, when you are able to tell it like this, and they can listen to it third party,
Yes.
it takes you out of it,
Yes.
and it just lets them hear it.
Yes.
So it's kind of like different, but the same with the book. My first book, I wanted my son to read it. It's stories that I could not tell him like this. I had to formulate them differently. And so when you get something like this, it would be when
a
you
good way to
think when
think
you think
about
it's
it.
right. She's gonna have questions after,
Yes.
but it might be good to hear it third party.
That's
Like
actually a good way. I never thought about that. That's
Yeah.
a good way of looking at it. Like, I don't have to tell her because I would probably tell her in a different way. Of
course you would.
Sitting here with you fellas.
Yeah. And so I don't know if you'd feel comfortable that way, but I think that that's something you should think
Yeah.
about, because I knew like I couldn't really get why I'm who I am across, because I'm going to tell it like their dad. Maybe not how they need to hear it
Yes.
potentially. And that's good and bad,
Yeah.
but it's still the reality of just what it is.
Yes.
Right. So
True.
anyway, cool.
Yeah. So obviously, like now you're top 30 in the world in CrossFit. When was training like one of the first big drivers to help turn things around, or when was that implemented?
No. So we powerlifted in prison.
Okay.
That's what we did. Like, I've had a 550 deadlift. I've had 315 bench. I've had I've been there. I've done that. I have 485 knee wrap, just belt squat. I've been through all of that. I lifted with guys that were like 10 years older than me. So they were all like when Louis was first starting and
Yeah.
slinging weights around when he was young, and,
Sure.
they learned from him.
Well, yeah, because they were in and out of jail all the time.
Exactly. So like we power lifted. So, but at the same time we power lifted, I was smoking cigarettes and shooting dope.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, is that really the best? Like,
Yeah.
what was my potential? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. So when I got out, it was about living life. Right. When I got out, it was about, I need a job because they're telling me I have to have a job. We needed a place to stay because at the point in time I got out, we didn't have any place. So we was living with my mom. So we would need a place. And I'm going to spend time with my wife and experience life. I mean, think about it. I went in when I was 19 and
Your kid.
I didn't get out until, I was 30. I missed my 20s completely, right? Gone. Like, I didn't get to go to a bar and drink or have a party at somebody's house for my 21st birthday.
Yeah.
You know what? I probably shot some dope and smoked a joint with
Yeah.
some guys in prison. Let's face it. So when I got out, it was just about life. Like, I needed to live life. I needed to get things squared away and have a good job and get us squared away with me and her. And slowly over time, there was one day I got, and this is going to be the funniest fucking thing in the world, right, to you guys. So one day I was like, look, I'm ready to go back to a gym. I'm ready to do something. But I can't go to a gym looking like this. Like, we found pictures the other day of me sitting with Maggie.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, was I really that fat? What the fuck is that?
She was
like,
living
yeah.
that good life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah. She goes, you were kind of chubby. I'm like, why didn't you tell me? What's going on? So I started on Xbox Connect with an MMA game in my living room.
No shit.
Look, no lie. That's where I
How
started.
much did you weigh when you like kind of got back at
I
it,
think
Jay?
probably 215.
Okay.
Something like that. I mean, and what's funny about it
Well,
is
yeah, you
it's
got
like,
a different 200 now.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
like
yeah.
205 now, so
Yeah.
it's like 10
Jacked
pounds
up,
more than this.
yeah.
But yeah, like you see a picture and it was like,
Yeah.
Just a little soft. Yeah.
Oh.
So you
little
start
bit.
on the Xbox Connect.
yeah,
That's fucking hilarious.
just start somewhere, right?
Yeah, it's
So,
amazing.
So I started doing that in the living room, and then I was like, all right, I'm ready to go to the gym now. Let's go to the gym. So
Got
I-
my base done. We're good.
Yeah.
Like, and now that I look at fitness and I've been a coach and all kinds of
Yeah.
shit, I look back and I'm like, I laugh like you guys do.
That's
at me.
so
I'm like,
good.
What the fuck were you thinking?
Hey, but you got to start
Shit.
somewhere, buddy.
Read his
So-
bio. Read his bio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Xbox Connect, the top 30 in the world. That's fucking amazing.
Damn.
So
Jeez.
that was like about 8 years. Well, it would have been about 9 years
Yeah.
ago, right before we met, because I had just started CrossFit.
Okay.
Right when we had met.
Got it.
But I'd been going to the Advantage Club.
Oh, yeah.
Is where we went, and then Carrie got into working out, so she was working out and running, and then one day I was like, I need something different. Like I just gotta have something different. And she showed me the CrossFit manual, and I was like, nah, whatever. I moved on. Fuck all that. I ain't into that. Mm-hmm. Like a year later, somebody that I was training, I was coaching, told me their husband does CrossFit. I'm like, what's that? And then Carrie brings the manual to me. It's what I tried to show you a year ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to look into it. So
That's usually how it works, by the way.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
My wife's like always right. I fucking hate
I
it. but
fucking
whatever.
hate it.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of, I
Cool.
guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just move on. So I go down and I try a workout, and fucking one workout.
Loved it?
That was it. It was over.
That's cool.
So
Sick.
that was where it ended up, and then it just slowly, like I said, it slowly become. I think I'm all right at this. I just. And Carrie asked me this the other day. She goes, "What do you wish you knew then that you know now about competing?"
Yeah.
I said, "Just how strong I needed to be."
Yeah, because I kept saying, man, if Jake could just get a little stronger. Because
That's
I
all it
knew he
was.
was way better at it than me, but I fucking was like,
it had-
that's what was limiting him.
Because my engine was always fucking awesome. Like
Yeah.
I could always squeak by with my engine until the heavy hit. And when the heavy hit, like I would have scores in the 40 to 44 group that were like 200 and something, 100 and something, 200 and something. There's the fucking heavy 900 and something.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? So like you got to get stronger.
Yeah.
So like, and this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
So
Last thing I want to touch on is as a parent now, like obviously you have a lens of
I do.
craziness, right? And I have my version of that. Everyone has our version of that,
Yes.
right? So what's it like when you knew you were going to be a dad? Just talk through that real quick, and then just being a parent and changing, obviously, the trajectory of what you dealt with.
So I'm really hard on my daughter, and I know that. A lot of it is I feel like a lot of what I did
Yeah.
is fucking hereditary, and I know it's not.
Yeah.
Straighten the fuck up, Jay. It's not hereditary.
Yeah.
Don't fucking be hard on her. Like I'm fixing that. Me and her are fixing this.
Yeah. That's an honest answer.
And a lot of that is because I see sometimes that and I think all kids are like this, not just mine, but it feels like it's just mine.
Yeah.
Like when things go wrong, a kid won't just stop and reset
Yep.
and try to fix what just happened.
That's the E+R thing,
Equals
right?
O,
Yeah.
yes.
It's like event plus reaction equals, or what is
Event plus response equals outcome.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So like I was always the guy, like I said, that was like, well, fuck, I already fucking did that.
Yeah.
I'm already in trouble. I'm just
I'm already grounded a week. Yeah, fuck you, mom. And then she's like, now it's 2 weeks.
Right?
I used to be that guy too.
So-
I just never went. Go ahead. Yes. So terrible.
So like I was always that guy that did that, and I when I see that happen in her, I'm hard.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I don't want her to do that. I need her to understand. Stop.
It's stopped the cycle
Yes.
of, yeah.
Stop right now, and let's fix whatever's going on.
Hey, that's
And-
wisdom, homie.
And I'm hard on her about that.
Sure.
And I know that.
Yeah.
I also want her to be kind.
Yeah.
I also want her to be smart. You know what I mean? So, like, and she is. That's the fucked up part. Is she is a kind person. And she is very smart. It's be kind and smarter though. How about that? So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean, it's hard. Like,
What a different life from yours, Jay.
big time. Like,
Because now she's at an age where that's where you started really getting in trouble, right?
Yes.
So I think that has to be weird to see. This is the age I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
I see what she's doing, and that it's so dramatically different.
oh, big time. Like she's such a good student, and she's into volleyball.
Yep.
And she's into 4-H. She loves her 4-H stuff and her animals, and
You're
like,
giving her an opportunity to
and
live
that's
a
the
normal
biggest
life,
thing.
buddy.
I want her to have
Yeah.
all the stuff I wish I would have had.
Of course.
That I didn't know I wanted.
Yeah.
Like
Or
I didn't-
needed.
Or needed. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know that I would like that normal lifestyle growing up. I want her to be able to have that same two parents in the house, and
Yes.
the school with the friends, and play sports. And you know what? You won't have to worry about at 16. You don't have to go get a full-time fucking job, or you don't have to go to the streets and sell drugs. You're worried about school.
Yeah.
You're going to worry about fucking getting your best grades and playing your sports.
How good does that feel?
Fucking gave me goosebumps. That's what it did. It's like, you want that.
Yeah.
Right?
It's big.
So,
Man, amazing. I don't know where we go from here. Jason, where can they find you on social media?
the only one I'm on is Instagram.
Yeah.
It's just Tomlinson_3.
Yeah. Dude, I almost started crying at the end. I don't even know why. Just because I think like the overall arching.
Well, I just want you to know, and this is just the way I am, is because very few people in my life, especially growing up, gives me chances.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't get that because of what I was into and what I did. And,
Sure.
so when I find those people, how much you appreciate and
Yeah.
how much the feelings that I have can't ever be put into words
Sure.
for you and you two, you and the more, you know what I mean? Like, I want you all to know, like,
Yeah.
I
would say you value a different set of things than most do, Jay.
I do. I value things differently, I think,
Sure.
than most people. Like, when it comes, because all I have is my word, and all I have is being able to have you understand how much I appreciate what you've done for me.
Yeah. Hey, easy, dude. You know, and the thing is, I did all those things not knowing any of that stuff, really.
No,
I knew
I
parts. I knew. Once I saw the tattoos, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get a little, like, chirp of what's going on. But then I was like, I only really evaluate people on what I do right this second.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with what before, because you obviously changed your entire life. So it's like, I'm just glad now you feel confident enough to kind of get it out there.
Like, when you go to somebody's house, you don't want them to put their silverware away and hide their TV, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to walk in
Yeah, of course.
and be like, do you guys not have a TV? No, we put it in the closet because you were
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
over. I'm like, I don't want that,
Yeah, of
right? I don't want
course.
people to understand that I've changed.
Well, I
that
think it's safe to say 20 years, bro, that there shouldn't be anybody thinking that about you.
it's been a long, long road, but
Yeah.
it's been well worth it. So,
Well, congratulations on the fucking coming out on the other side, homeboy.
thank you.
Fuck. I'm your boy Corey G. That's at Small Arms Danny, at Trey Speed, and the graphic gangster himself, Cole Susak, Jason Tomlinson, and we are out.